Hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. Hope you're all well. Thanks for joining the channel. Today on the bench I have a Sears Electronics solid state model 28666 8-track player. Now this is a client unit. He wants it fixed so that he can use it in his home system for playing the odd tape here and there. I don't know how many people still listen to 8-tracks, but let's try it out. Right now I do have it plugged in. It's drawing about 3 watts of power. I turned it on. Let's see. I don't know if this thing works or not. My amplifier. Turn my amplifier on. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Everly Brothers. Anybody remember these guys? Wake Up Little Susie. Right on track 1. Okay. Now it's working just fine. So what can we do for it? I don't know. Track selector's working. All the lamps are working. This button is kind of stuck. Fast forward. If you want to skip a song, you just hit this fast forward. It's the only way you can do it back in those days. Auto stop. Turn that on. Repeat. Let's try. Motor's quite noisy. It's got a lot of vibration. I'd like to try this auto eject thing. Repeat off. Let's service the motor in this thing. It's pretty noisy and yeah, it's pretty rough sounding. Let's go through and do a service on this thing. So here's a look at the player. This power switch. This is a 120 volt power switch, and it's got like a pilot lamp. Socket for your cassette. This channel selector, which is kind of stuck. We'll have to see what's wrong with that. And it has your 4-track indicators here. You have a fast forward switch on and off, an auto eject switch on and off, repeat on and off. I guess repeat just repeats the same track, and then auto stop. So when that comes, turn that on, I think it stops at the end of the track. I'm not sure. On the back, it's got a plywood box that has vinyl wrap, and it has the wooden back. Remove 2 screws, and then the back should come out. So I'll just grab this. And here it is. AGS. I don't know who AGS is, but they built this. I've seen AGS on other pieces of equipment. They make low-end audio, maybe video too, I'm not sure. But consumer audio and electronics. Low-end, not high-end. Made in Korea. There we are. Let's get the chassis out. And you do that by removing these 4 screws in the bottom, and then the chassis comes out the front. So let's just remove these. Okay. A big tangle here. So it all just slides out the front. Stuck down. Or maybe it doesn't come out the front. Maybe it comes out the back. No, it's got to come out the front. I think it's just stuck. Maybe it's glued. Yeah, there's some glue holding here. There we go. That is unusual. Something sticky there holding that together. And we are in. So we have our tiny little power transformer. Doesn't look like it's supplying too much power. It goes up here to this rectifier bridge, and then there's a 2200 microfarad cap. There's bulk. There's a relay. And then this here all looks like head amplifier. Doesn't look like much of an amplifier. It is stereo. It has a left and right input here on this side. Oops, and I just pulled a wire out. Look at that. I have to repair that. Okay. So we have a little 2 transistor amplifier to boost the head signal up to decent level, line level, and then we have all our mechanicals here. It has the nylon head clamp. It looks like it's cracked. Capstan. And what do we have for belt? Belt looks good. Belt was doing okay. We just need to service the motor, service the capstan, clean it, and we'll probably pop some new caps in here. These are old Sanyos. Don't have much faith in old Sanyo caps. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 caps we can change. Somebody, I don't know if this is factory or not. It doesn't look like it. I don't think this would pass if it was wires twisted and capped like that. I think it would need to have a crimp on there in order to pass CSA approval. So I think maybe somebody replaced this power cord. I don't know, but that's irrelevant. We can insulate that properly. And this goes up to our power switch here. We have our lamp. It's working. Track selector. Or does that de-eject? There is a plunger here. You see this spring? I'm pushing on it. That's our eject button right there. It's going to push the tape out maybe. Micro switch here. Yeah, it looks all fairly easy. We can do a quick recap and lubrication on this, and I think that's all it's going to need. So as soon as I start working on this, replacing caps, I'm assaulted with this smell, and it's a vintage audio smell, or vintage electronic smell, let's put it that way. And it's like from cheap manufacturers overseas, and the rosin flux they used, and it really, it's a bad smell. It stunk up the whole room here. And just from heating up this board, removing a couple of capacitors, I think some of these caps are, yeah, you can kind of smell it on the bottom. They're kind of leaking some kind of there's no sign of anything leaking, but you heat them up and they sure stink. But it smells almost like a urine mixed with a flux smell. And I don't know, it's pretty powerful. I'm not saying this has urine on it, it doesn't, but it just has that, it reminds me of that smell. Cow urine or something. But I'm just about done here, and then I'll clean the board. Looking at this thing, it really not much to do to it. We have to service the motor, service the capstan. This button here that sticks down, you see it sticks down. There's some sticky stuff oozing out from under this plate, and I need to get under here. See if I cut it with a knife. But then as soon as it sticks again, it doesn't want to lift. So I gotta get in there somehow and clean this out. I might have to remove this button, but I can't remove the button because it's staked in place with molten plastic. And everything here is molten and glued in. So I might have to think of something else to bust up this adhesive that's under here. Maybe scrape it out, I don't know. But it does stick. You can see it. And once you flip it up underneath, you can see where it's oozing out. Some kind of a sticky residue. Everything else looks good. Nice and clean. Chassis inside, everything's good. So I'm going to get finished on these caps. I got 4 more to do, and then we'll start working on servicing the bearings. Alright, so here's our date code, 1975, 11/12. This belt is actually pretty good condition. If that's an original belt, it's pretty good. It does have a lump in it from sitting in one position for so long, but I think that'll go away after some use. Maybe what I could do is I could boil it, and that would get rid of that memory of that rubber. I think I might do that. Boil it and clean it, and then it'll erase that memory of that lump. See, this is kind of noisy. I don't know if you can hear that. Something rubbing there. Alright, so let's take the motor out. Just going to remove these 3 screws here and then just have it drop out the bottom or the top. Oh yeah, there's always one screw that... What is going on? There we go. Wants to stay. Okay. Now, this mess. What I'd like to do is disconnect the motor entirely. 3 wires. 3 wires is because we have a 2-speed motor, and we got a high speed and normal. Yeah, I'm just going to draw a little diagram of where the wires go. It's pretty straightforward. Blue, yellow, and red. Where does red go? Red is going right here. Blue, yellow, red. Can you remember that? Okay. Yellow. Where's yellow? This one. So it's buried under these other wires that I also want to... Hang on, I need... Wow, it was really wrapped on there. Okay, I'll clean that up. And then red. This one's buried too. Try and get this one out. There we go. Took the green wire with it. Let's tack the green wire back. Just temporary. When I put the motor back in, I'll clean this all up. What a mess. Okay. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this capstan, and we're going to pull that apart too. Let's do this right now. So clean the trash off the capstan surface. It's quite dirty. See how much filth I'm getting out of there. Once I disassemble this, it'll get better cleaning. I'm just going to pull off, if I can find my little screwdriver, I'm going to pull off the C-clip, E-clip, and then we'll disassemble this part. Spin this around. There we go. There. Ooh, little spring loading there. I got it though. Okay. And then we have a nylon washer, and then our bearing. Well, it looks like it just fell out the bottom. That's what the problem is there. Oh, look at this. Isn't this nice? So I got to remove this to get this out. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera. I'll do that. I was probably just loosen these screws off. There's one here, one here, one here, one here. There's four screws, 5 screws. I'll see if I can loosen them off enough just so I can get this out. So I removed this amplifier part here, and it's still not. So I took another screw out and I can just bend it, I guess. Bend it enough to get it out. And then we should have another plastic washer here to remember to put that back. But now I can get in here and clean the bearings and relubricate everything. And I'll do that. Let me put this aside. All right. So I'm just going to use one of my favorite for cleaning this. I'm just going to soak it down, and then give it a wipe. Okay, let's give it another treatment. Okay, that's coming back pretty clean now. That's not bad. It's a lot better. Our bearings are good. They don't look like they're damaged in any way. So this can go aside and get ready for reassembly. I'm going to clean this out. Just going to use cotton swab with the same stuff. fairly dirty. Flip this over. It's fairly dirty. And a lot of dirt buildup in here too. Look at that. It's getting kind of gnarly in there. Okay, I'll give it one more clean and then I'll call it done. Alright, so you can see the surface here. This is the bearing, it's nice and shiny, the bearing nice and shiny. This surface here is all kind of rough. It's got like a sandblasted texture to it. It's intended to have a rough surface like that, but you can see the wear from the tape in the middle there. But that's what it should look like when it's clean. Shouldn't have brown stuff all over it or black. This looks pretty good. This is going to go back in now. I clean those bearings. It's going to put some grease on our bearing surface. I'm going to do the bottom bearing surface first. Just put a little bit of grease, probably about that much, and then spread it around. And I already forgot the plastic washer, so let me get that before I forget. It's right here. You kidding me? That's not the one. Okay. Put that on there. Okay. So that's lubricated. This can go back in. Now I'm going to put this all back together before I forget where the screws are, and I'll just do that right now, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this. Okay, so here's our. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to lubricate the top bearing because it's still dry. About that much. And then we can assemble it, the remainder of it there. The reason I do it that way is so this stays dry and there's no lubrication on it. I want to make sure that that stays clean with no grease. And then we can put our assembly together. We need our washer. And our cap. It's got a D cut. It's got a D cut out in it, and then this has a flat on the side here. So you just got to line that up. And then our E-clip. Where did it go? It's right here. All right. These magnetic tools really annoy the hell out of me sometimes. Where did it go? Oh, it fell down. Right in here. now it doesn't want to stick to anything. Now I'm getting annoyed. Come on. Okay, got my E-clip, cap, the washer's in place. Let's do this again before I start breaking out in curses. Okay. There we go. Actually, it's kind of loose. Still making a noise. Well, it's better than what it was. Okay. I think we're good with this. Just need to clean the head. I didn't see much stuff on the head, so it's... I can look through here. It's very clean. It's like somebody cleaned it. That is supposed to be like that. Alright, my head's clean. Let's clean the switch. Clean that off. Okay. Okay, we're ready with this. We're done with this. Let's put it aside. Let's work on the motor. So this is the motor. It's a 2-speed motor. It's got a brass pulley with a set screw, which is good, so we can take that off. And it should pull off easy. I might have to heat it. Yeah, let's heat it. Unless there's 2 set screws, I didn't see. Oh, there's just the one. A lump of brass. There we go. Come on. Okay. Here's the back information. I don't know if you can read that. MD 235RA, made by Kawasaki. 13.2 volts, 2000 RPM. And we got 3 screws on the side here. Let's remove them. What's wrong with my screwdriver? Oh, it's working. Very tiny screws. You don't want to lose any of these. Plus they're glued in place too. Isn't that nice? Okay. I don't think it has any electronics in here. I think it's probably just a governor, a speed governor. And let me see if I can get this open. It's got glue on it, that's why. Very difficult. There we go. There, that's what I like. Now this should all come out as a unit. There we go. It's the glue that's causing problems here. It's sticking. Wow. Okay. This cap goes on here. Okay, remember that. Here's our governor. So all we really got to do is oil these two bearings. I'm not going to disassemble everything. It's just too much work for no gain. We're not going to get anywhere further. 4.7 microfarad. I'll leave that alone as well. It's quite noisy. Good old 3 in 1. 3 in 1. No, I can't get to this bearing. I'm gonna have to dribble it down and let it. I got it. But too much oil. Don't whip up the excess. All right, I'm going to leave this as it is. This side really absorbed the oil. Give it another shot. Okay. Just going to reassemble this and then put it back in the machine because there's not much more we can do with it. So here it is after boil for 5 minutes. It looks clean, and it kind of loses its memory a bit. It's not perfect, but it helps. Okay, I'm just going to clean this with alcohol before I put it back in. Just to make sure it's got nothing on it. Yeah, just a little bit there. Give it another scrub here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to do testing. I don't think there's anything else that needs. Oh, I got to reconnect my motor wires, and I still need to fix this nonsense. I think I'll do that next. I'm really surprised that they got away with doing this. Okay, well I'll splice it together and I'll heat shrink it. Okay, so one thing I did is this yoke that holds the head in place with this tightening screw. This is cracked here. There's a big crack up the side of it. And I think the other side is still holding. It's cracked as well. I can see the crack there. But it hasn't fallen apart yet. So what I did is I took some UV resin and flooded this area underneath between the yoke and the head and cured it. And that provided some strength to this. I don't think it's going to come apart now. I think the UV resin will hold it, and it should be okay. The other alternative is to take this whole mechanism out and wrap this with fiber, floss or fiber, and reinforce the yoke. But I don't think it's necessary. I think that's going to hold. Alright, motor wires are connected. Not the prettiest thing, but it's there. Got a little. Clean that out after. Everything's done except for, well, everything is done, I think. Everything on this side looks alright. The other side, belt's in place. I did clean this board, give it a good clean scrub with alcohol. This is all good. So I think we're ready to put it back together and test it. Alright, so here we go. Let's plug this thing in and see how it runs. I have a feeling it's going to be good. Alright, so let's turn everything off here. The lamp is kind of flickering here, like it's got a weak switch. Maybe the switch needs cleaning. Same with number 2. Three's flickering a little bit. Four is steady. Okay, I think what I want to do is clean the switch. Alright, I should have done this right to start here. I got it unplugged, so I'm not going to zap myself. Let's take the switch out. Probably spring loaded, so let's get, before I start losing things, hold that down, take this out. Take out this washer, and then I think we can let this go. Okay, here's our contacts and our, I'm going to clean all this. This is, I'm wondering if I should use polish maybe. Let's try some of this first. Okay, how well can you see that? It's quite dirty. But are we taking any oxide off? I don't think we are. Actually, it's not bad. It's coming clean. Okay. Let's clean this side. This has to go one way on like that. Oops. I want that. I don't want to lose that. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some deoxit. A very small amount. All right. There we go. We got it in, I think. Here's our washer. And we need our E-clip. Where did it go? Okay. Let me put this E-clip in. Now if we can lock this in. There we go. It's working. Okay. Let's test it one more time. All right. It's getting nice and bright now. Number 4 is out. Why is number 4 out? Oh, we broke a wire. Okay. Alright, gotta fix the wire now. Okay. There really wasn't much holding. Let's just strip a little bit off. There we go. That's all we need. All right, back in business. All right, we got our lamp 4 back. Seems like it's struggling to illuminate, like it goes brighter and dimmer. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can. It's not constant brightness, it gets brighter and dimmer. Maybe with motor load. It's pulsing. Really odd. Well, they're all doing it, so and it's working. I like this. I fixed this. It had some sticky residue underneath that was holding the bar down. And now it's working just perfect for track switching. Okay. Eject. Ooh. It did work. Try that again. Need a stronger spring to pop that out because the motor's still going, even though the tape isn't. You can see that the motor's still going, which isn't a big deal, I guess. Okay, everything's good. I want to check the automatic track. Check the automatic track selector. I'm just going to short out back here on the 2 contacts. I can see. Here we go. 1. Okay, it's working. Okay, let's put the screws back in. Fini. There it is. Well, there you have it. It's a horrible medium for tape. That noise is coming from the 8-track cartridge. Probably because the tape has never been played in the last 40 years. But yeah, it's not a perfect medium for sure, and it's got a lot of disadvantages going for it. Part of it is the low quality of the electronics and the mechanical that they used to get away with the 8-track format, and it was designed to be rugged and pretty much foolproof. These cartridges, you could throw them on the floor, you could step on them, and it really didn't affect them at all. There's a little bit of exposed tape there, but you know, these were not built for fidelity. and it's a continuous loop, so over time it might stick or whatever. But see how noisy that is? Let me grab another tape to see the difference between different cartridges. Here's an Elton John. See, this one runs a lot quieter. It actually sounds pretty good. Yeah. So it's not meant to be high fidelity, but people do want these players for their system, just so they have the compatibility of going back in time, and maybe they have collections of tapes they like. So that's it for this one. We'll wrap this one up and end this one. Get it back to the owner. He's got more work for me waiting, so life goes on. So take care. We'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching. Lots of cool stuff coming up, so stay tuned.